Grace and Peace Rooted Collective. Welcome back to Awakened and Rooted, where the veil is thin, the vibes are deep, and the stories will make you question everything. So if you are into the mystical, the metaphysical, or the downright unexplainable, you are in the right place. So let's get into it.
Imagine getting bullied so bad that you went and bought a Ouija board to make it all stop. Yes, cousins, we're back with another story time. Let's get into it. Okay, so there was a set of triplets, identical triplets at that. Now, one girl in particular stayed getting bullied because she was like the standoffish one and the shy one. So their names are Sierra, she's the oldest, Tiara, she's the middle, and also the ones that's getting bullied, and Kiara. They're all 5 minutes apart, and growing up, they spent their whole life together. Same school, same church, same household, just same everything. So over the years, Tiara's self-esteem kept dropping lower and lower because she kept getting bullied, despite the fact she had two sisters. So by this time, Tiara's in the seventh grade. Now she's scrolling online and she happens to see a Ouija board. She ended up ordering one using her mother's credit card at that, but when it came in the mail, she hid it from everybody. Now she's secretly playing with this Ouija board over and over and over. Now she's becoming very standoffish from Kiera and Sierra because she's so focused on this Ouija board. Little did she know what's about to happen. So 2 weeks go by and nothing is happening that she wanted to happen. So one particular day as she's playing with this board, she tells the board, if nothing happens, I'm going to break you and throw you away for good. So she's shouting at this board like, how are you supposed to help me if nothing that I want done is happening? So she gets frustrated. She puts the board back into the box. She put it in her book bag and she pushes it under her bed. So that same night, after everyone went to sleep and she thought she was going to sleep, her bed started to shake. And not only did that, she started seeing shadows in her room. All of this is going on. Tiara is the only one awake. Mind you, her other two sisters are in the room with her. But she said she was not scared. So she went under her bed to get the Ouija board. She's talking to it while she's under the bed. And when she happened to look across, she's seen a pair of shoes on the other side of the bed. Now that did startle her a little bit because she knew when she came from under this bed, she's probably going to see something. So as she comes from under the bed, she see a shadow sitting on the edge of her bed from the neck down. So she asks it, why are you here? Are you here to come and take me? And she said, he said, no, I'm here to help you. So Tiara started smiling. So the shadow told her he knew everything that she was going through and he was going to take care of it. So Tiara asks him, well, how are you going to take care of it? So he taps his hand across her bed and says, don't worry about it. Just know I'm going to take care of it. What all do you want me to do? So she tells him she wants all the bullying to stop as soon as possible, and she wants them all to pay for what they did and said to her, and she wants a front row seat to it. Then to make her a lovable person that has a lot of friends that would never harm her. So he said, okay, done. However, I have a small fee for myself. So Tiara says, sure, I'll do whatever to make this go away. Now Tiara still cannot see his face. Now he told her what he wanted from Tiara. However, she wasn't fully paying attention because she realized that the voice sounded so familiar. So as he's stating what he wanted, she's focused on the voice and she shakes his hand in agreement without even knowing what he just said to her. So he left. Tiara went to sleep. So the morning comes, she wakes up like nothing happened. She gets ready with her sisters. They wash up and they go have breakfast. Now it was a Saturday, so they all planned on spending the night over at their cousin's house because also it's Halloween as well. So the triplets and all the cousins end up going to a Halloween party, which was a haunted shed. Now Sierra and Kiara was very protective over Tiara, so they already knew once they got to this party, they was going to have their eyes and attention locked on Tiara to make sure that she was good to go. So as they walk into this haunted shed, that's when everything took a turn for the worse. She said it felt like the whole room changed into this creepy cornfield with all of these bad spirits in there. And somehow, some way, they all got split up. But the shadow deity that came to visit Tia the night before, what he wanted was souls that she agreed to give him. That's exactly what he took from this party. Tierra says she witnessed her own sisters, Kiera and Sierra's souls, leave their body. So Tierra starts to bawl her eyes out. The deity looks at her and tells her, "There's no need to cry. We had a deal. The ones that was actually hurting and harming you was your own two sisters. I witnessed them do unthinkable things to you and also heard conversations about you that you didn't hear." The deity said he was coming back into this life as another life, so he had to fulfill his dues and collect souls. So Tierra's like, "No, you're lying." So he began to show her conversations that she was not a part of that Sierra and Kiera was having about her. Right after that, she passed out. She ended up waking up at home looking for this Ouija board that was nowhere to be found. Outside of this Ouija board disappearing, there was also no knowledge of her even having any sisters. There was no pictures, there was no bed, there was nothing, but she do know she had memories of her sisters. Remember the credit card, her mom credit card that she used to buy that Ouija board? There wasn't even a trace of a payment on her mom card statement. Tierra said it was like their existence was just wiped from this earth. But she immediately gained new friends that replaced her sisters. Yeah. I actually got submitted this story at 2:23 in the morning. Yeah. Very interesting. Anyway, if you guys have any stories that you want to submit to me, make sure you guys DM it to me or make sure you guys send it to my email that's in my bio. All right, I'll be back with another story time. Until then, enjoy this one.
I enjoyed that one. Let me bring this a little closer because the voice is not the best today. But I enjoyed that one. That one was really interesting, but I knew that this thing was going to take her sisters from her. You never make, first of all, you never touch a Ouija board. Second of all, you never make a bargain with anybody for anything. This one was good.
Everything is spiritual and hidden in plain sight. Part 10,503. I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all that, especially in the English language, everything is going to be told to you right in your face. So much so that it's gonna go right over your head. Like, you're not even gonna see it. We have been, especially on my other channel, studying and talking about how when you are on a substance, like when you are intoxicated on a substance, you are spiritually unalert and the devil's playing ground. Like, literally, you are susceptible to demonic attacks, spiritual warfare, more so than ever. The Bible doesn't just say things just to say things, guys. There's a reason why the Bible says you can drink, but do not drink to be drunk. Be of sober mind, because Jesus knows that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We just have to get the memo. When you sit down at a bar, right? What do they ask you? What spirit do you want? Come on, y'all. If you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to tell you the dark truth about Jameson whiskey. The dark truth. Y'all are not gonna believe this. You guys don't understand that a lot of these spirits that we consume are like heinous. The things that have been done in the past in these families that own these spirits, that make these spirits for us to consume, like they're demonic, bro. Okay, so think about this. When a serial unaliver does what he or she needs to do, right? Most of the time, they are on a substance and they either black out or say like they need this substance to do what they're doing. That's because they are being pushed by demons. And not even going to the extreme of serial unalivers. Let's just talk about the person that gets behind the wheel, knowing dang well they should not be driving, gets on the road and boom, hits a car with a family of 4 in there, all of them gone. That is the work of the devil. And substances are used by the enemy every single day. Am I telling you you cannot drink? No, I'm not saying that. I drink, but the issue is drinking to be drunk. How many times have you blacked out and thought, dang, like I acted so out of character, like I would never do that, because it's not you. It's not you. Okay, so let me get to what I promised y'all. In 1880, the heir of Jameson whiskey, James Jameson, purchased a 10-year-old little girl for the sole purpose of watching her being eaten alive by a cannibal. Yeah, y'all heard me right. These people that run these these corporations that make the liquors that people drink, it ain't nothing simple about them. Just remember that. So again, be vigilant, have discernment is all I'm gonna say. Stay prayed up. As always, make sure you like, follow, and comment down below what else y'all want to get into.
Oh yeah, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. None of it's true. Anyway, that story about James Jameson is the worst thing I have ever heard in my life. The worst thing I have ever heard. But what she says is true. It's not that you can't have it, it's moderation. Moderation for everything. Whether that be alcohol, whether that be food, whether that be sex, whether that be money, spending, whatever. Moderation for everything.
Mommy, tell the people what you told me upstairs about when you were struggling years ago. Because I feel like it was so inspiring, it might be a good message for somebody up here.
I have lost a whole lot in life. Like, everything was just crazy. I didn't know what direction my life was going in. I had pulled over because I got really, really, really emotional. I pulled over to cry. And while I was crying, God spoke to me, and his words were, "Your grass will be green." And that was in 2011. Where I was at a gas station, and it was at a gas station in Cary. And tonight, I realized that the spot I was at is the very spot that I go to charge my Tesla.
The very same spot that she pulled over in her car at the gas station to cry years ago is now a Tesla charging station where she pulls over to charge her Tesla. This is not about it being a materialistic thing. This is just a symbol of God's promise.
I had just been abandoned, literally abandoned, and I didn't know what I was going to do. It just hit me that now I go over there to charge my Tesla. The same place. That is crazy.
So I want y'all to be encouraged that trouble doesn't last always. I want you to believe that you can have not only what you need, but even the things that you want. And trust God to make your grass green on his time.
I like that one.
Washington, D.C. was not just built, it was designed. Let's discuss some things about the capital city that a lot of people don't know. D.C. is not just about politics, it's a ritual grid. And the latest move that man in that house just pulled, ritual. The streets themselves, they are forming sacred shapes. So, like, there's a 5-point star that is right above the main house. Of course, I'm being mindful of what I say because they will take this shit down. And across town, you got a massive stone pillar, aka the Washington Monument. The same stone pillar is facing a giant dome, aka the Capitol. Ancient masculine and feminine energy that is paired together. You got the seed and then you got the womb. You have the sun and then you have the moon. That is how they lock power and energy into the land. They laid the very first stones of that city. That was not a normal groundbreaking moment. George Washington himself wore a Masonic apron. He placed the Capitol cornerstone in a full-on ceremony, aka ritual. They consecrated the city, so from day one, this was more than a governmental hub. It's a ritual site. Now, from what I've been seeing, he placed 800 troops inside of the ritual grid. The local guardians of order were placed under higher command. But I think what doesn't make sense is that crime has been down. Then you have to ask yourself, why the extra force? Because it's not about reaction, it's about ritual. The statement of power, it's like them saying, we run this city, we own this shit. Not because we need to, but because we can. The timing of it all is what you gotta really watch because it is Leo season. Leo is the sign of kings, crowns, and authority. And this went down on the 11th, I believe it was, which, what is the number 11? Number tied to gateways and big power plays. 8 plus 11 equals 19. And in tarot, number 19 represents the sun card. Authority revealed and power made visible. Like I said, DC is a ritual circuit board. Every single move they make there has layers, symbols, numbers, timing, energy. You can read the code, you'll see the real game behind them headlines. I told you they're gonna try to play the biggest hand they got. We're gonna sum it all up. He placed the city's police under higher federal command. Out and guard units, even though it shows that crime rates have been down. Shows us what?
This is not a safety response. This is a power move. And put together the ritual timing and then the geometry of the city itself. This is to assert sovereignty and kingdomship at the nation's capital. Shall I say the crown of the nation? That's right. DC is the crown chakra. Lighthouse positioned at the base of the pentagram. It serves as the anchor of power. When he invoked Section 740, overrode local power, I said ding ding ding, just flipped the switch and the city built like a magical circuit board. What I'm trying to say is, do not let them harvest your energy. You need your energy to keep their system going. He did makes no rational sense, but it makes perfect energetic sense. I said to myself, they trying to seal the energy grid under federal control. Trying is the key word. So many people rising so fast right now, they don't know what to do. Illusions are crumbling. Y'all know the motto by now. Always observing, but I'm never absorbing. Observe, don't absorb. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
I am going to keep that in mind. Observe, not absorb. I was born and raised in DC. And the changes that are going on in DC, the things that are happening in DC are atrocious. But trust and believe, the residents in DC are out on those streets. They are fighting against what's going on in DC.
A jealous person is dangerous. They'll hex you. A jealous person will put you in a jar and try to stop all your movements. So you have to be careful with them. Don't let anybody know what you're going to do before you do it. But they don't know. If you put somebody in a jar and they are out here trying to be the best version of themselves, meaning that they are doing their fasting, they're praying, meditating, whatever, connecting to the universe and their spirit guides, then that negative energy has to go back to somebody. So just because you have them in a jar, you don't know what this person is over here doing. You don't know what type of work they're over here doing. So be careful with that. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of information that's circulating on the internet, so people are just being freely just, want to try things, but you gotta know who that other person is. You need to know their spiritual rank. You need to know what type of work they're doing. That's if you are on a low vibrational tip to where you're trying to operate out of that frequency to hex people, then you need to know who that other person is before you do it, because a lot of people will have their life turned upside down for messing with somebody who is trying to be the best version of themselves. So just be careful.
Please be careful. I try my best to be of the highest vibration I can. I am never going to put anybody in a jar but myself. I will admit I did make a honey jar for myself. A honey jar. And it's been working. It's been working. I'm loving it. But yeah, no, you need to know who it is, who that person is that you're dealing with. You don't want that stuff bouncing back on you.
I believe that when you're about to undergo a major change in your life, and the change I'm talking about is a change where you have fully stepped into a new identity that is in resonance with the reality, the higher reality that you're trying to shift into. When it's time for that to happen, when it's time for you to make that shift, I believe that your gut instinct, your intuition, is going to kick into high gear and it's going to be crazier. What do I mean by that? I mean that the things you will be guided to do are going to be nonsensical to your rational mind. What do I mean by that? I mean that it's not like the typical run-of-the-mill intuition or gut instinct, right? Where it tells you not to go down a certain road. You're going to be asked to take risks in a way that you've never been asked to do so before. And that is because there is a new identity. There's a new version of you that you have stepped into. And that new version of you is ready to step into the higher timeline, the higher reality, where it has all of the things that the old version of you has been trying to manifest, right? There's levels to all of these things. So your the new version of yourself, right? Your future self is now communicating to you saying, hey,
if you want to shift into this reality, this is how I act. This is how I move. I am no longer afraid. I'm more of a risk taker because I trust myself. I trust in God. I trust in the universe. I trust in alignment. And I know that it is done. That's important. I know that what I'm calling has been done. It is done. It has happened. But the reason why you're getting this strong intuitive guidance, your gut instinct is getting stronger and it's pushing you into doing things that seem almost nonsensical, is because you are no longer tied to fear, and also it's trying to break you out of your pre-existing patterns that was part of the old version of you. Because in order to step into the new version of you, you need to start doing things that you have never done before. You have to do things that, again, seem nonsensical to your rational mind, but that rational mind is your old self telling you, like, wait, that doesn't make sense. Of course it doesn't make sense, because the new version of you is operating differently. It's operating under a new operating system. So I just had that epiphany and I really wanted to share it because for me personally, I know that I've shifted. I felt the shift mentally. Like, I know that I am a new upgraded version of myself. However, now my instincts are starting to shift. They're starting to change, but the older version of me is still pulling me back, saying like, oh, well, Jumi, we used to do things this way. And the new version of me, the version that I've shifted into, the version that is manifesting the reality that has already taken place, I just have to catch up to it, is telling me, no, we need to break certain patterns and we need to like almost kind of shock your system, right? Shock you in a way where you don't regress back to the older version of you. The older version of you has served its purpose. The new version of you is ready to take over, and you can sense it, you can feel it. You are her, you are them, you know? But now how can we make sure that that shift is manifesting into your reality? And that can only happen when you break cycles, you break patterns. And what does that mean? You start taking action differently. You start doing things differently. And those things at first are going to seem nonsensical because the old version of you would never do those things. But this version of you that doesn't have that weight, that doesn't have that trauma, that doesn't have that fear holding them back, is ready to take the leap. So I'm just saying that if you are feeling called and there's this like gut instinct and drive to move in a way or operate in a way that you are not used to, do not ignore it. Because if you have been doing the work to step more and more into your authenticity, because I really think when you're shifting realities, you have to be authentic about it. That's how the shift happens. And you like, the more you become more conscious of who you are as a person, the more you become more aligned with what you actually want for your life, the more you're able to shift into the higher version of yourself, the more you're able to release the fear that keeps you stuck in holding patterns. So you have to do something drastic. And when I say drastic, this is just an example. Here, let's say the old version of you used to take the train everywhere, but the new version of you requires you to fly everywhere you're going. So to your rational mind, if you're so used to taking the train everywhere, the idea of flying now seems extremely nonsensical. Well, of course, because that is the old version of you that is in a particular reality. So I just wanted to share that because this has been coming up for me. And, you know, I'm the host of Shifting Dimensions, where I talk about all things metaphysical and the reality, the nature of reality of this world. And some of the things that we talk about often is following synchronicities, following your intuition, because the more you follow your intuition, the more you follow your gut instincts, the more you're able to transcend your current state of being and enter the reality that you actually want to be in. If you trust yourself, you trust your authentic code. So anyways, just wanted to share that. If you have experienced this, or if what I'm saying to you makes sense, Please comment down below.
So, what she's saying to me does make sense. Your gut will never lead you wrong. Your intuition will never lead you in the wrong direction. It might be scary because it is not something that you are used to. Like deciding that I wanted to put this channel out there, knowing how many opposing views there are to like spirituality and metaphysical things, that was scary. But your gut will always lead you in the right direction.
Because banks wouldn't loan us money, the funeral homes did. Folks borrowed against burial plots just to open a business. And many of those barbershops and diners we love started that way. You know, back in the day, we didn't have no banks. Not the kind that would loan us money anyway. See, when black folks walked in them marble lobbies downtown, they smiled polite. But their pens never moved. Loan officer always had an excuse. Your credit ain't strong enough, or we don't finance in that neighborhood. But funny thing is, when somebody passed, the undertaker always came through. Yeah, the funeral homes, them big brick buildings with the polished floors and the smell of flowers. They held the real money. Now don't get it twisted. It wasn't just about burying folks. No, sir. If you were steady paying on your burial insurance, that undertaker knew your name, knew your family, knew you was good for it. And when you needed a loan to open a cafe or buy your barber chairs, or even put a down payment on the house, you didn't go begging at no bank. You walk right up them steps to the funeral home. They sit you down in the back office where the walls is lined with church fans and faded obituaries. And the undertaker would say, now I can flow you this money, but if you don't pay me back well, your burial's already covered. And folks always paid, not just because they feared death, but because the whole community was tied to that place. Everybody's grandma, uncle, cousin, their pictures was in the memorial books. That meant your word was bond. Some of them businesses you still see today, the corner diner, the print shop, the soul food restaurant, they standing because the funeral home fronted the seed money. It's wild, ain't it? Life and death working hand in hand like that. Bank said no, but the Undertaker said yes.
Retrograde came through, kicked ass, and took some names. You heard me? Retrogrades are like energetic audits, and what they gonna do is pull back that curtain and show you what's been hiding there all along. But during this past retrograde, I've been booked and busy. I ain't mad at it. A lot of people thought their world was just crashing down because, see, that relationship ended. Just know if it ended, it probably wasn't aligned in the first place. You got a lot of people who rethinking their careers completely. This could look like they've been let go from their job, or they just wake up one day like, I don't want to do this shit no more. That's probably because that job been draining you more than feeding you. Retrogrades hit pause so you could review, rewrite, and redirect. I don't know if y'all know this, but the universe don't like wasted energy, so if you don't move on your own, guess what? Spirit gonna move you. Instead of mourning a loss of a job or a relationship or a friendship, instead analyze the space that just opened up for you. After every retrograde, the energy has to turn direct, right? That's when the real alignment comes in. Now, what did retrograde push out of your life? And the biggest question is, did you know it was time? You know the saying, what feels like rejection is just redirection. It's all in how you look at it. You're gonna be honest, 9 times out of 10, Spirit been showing you time and time again what you needed to do, who you needed to let go, the path you needed to choose, but you decided not to listen. Retrograde really just shines a light on all that shit. Y'all get in them comments and let me know your thoughts. As always, peace, love, and light, and gratitude for watching.
Call you crazy, but it's really spiritual warfare. Hold on, let me learn you something. People who ain't never been in your shoes would never understand how it feels to be under attack. Whether it's spiritual or physical, they don't understand. They ain't never been in that position. You feel me? So you got to work through it the best way you know how. Get you a group of people who can relate and bend through it. And you make them people your circle. You feel me? Because everybody else who ain't never been in your shoes is going to single you out, make you feel crazy, talk about you. And they want to call you crazy, but the whole time it's spiritual warfare. You're under mental attack, confusion, overthinking, you're overwhelmed. And you don't know who to go to because everybody around you are making you feel like you are crazy. You're not, baby. You know what you feel. You know what it is. All right? And I love you, friend. I love you.
One of the basics to spirituality is questioning everything, bro. When I say everything, every fucking thing. Question your identity, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your morality. Question who taught you how to think. Question the systems that raised you. Question the religion that you were born into. Even question the voice in your head that's doing the questioning. You won't really awaken if you're not open-minded enough to let go of things that you think you know and unlearn what you have been conditioned to believe. Self-awareness isn't just about expanding your knowledge. It's also about letting go what and who motherfuckers taught you to be, and also letting go of illusions. It's learning that most of what you call you was never really yours to begin with. It was given to you, forced on you, repeated to you, until you was brainwashed into thinking, okay, this is how I'm supposed to feel. This is what I'm supposed to know. This is how I'm supposed to think. Damn near all of this shit is just an agreement, something you agreed to that you had no say-so in. Real spirituality starts when your comfort zone ends. When you are brave enough to sit in the unknown and stop clinging to certainty. When you can say, maybe everything I did believe was a lie, and be okay with that. That is when shit starts to get real. That is when the soul starts to remember.
And I agree with her, but I feel like on some level, I kind of question things from far back. Certain things just kind of didn't sit well with me. So I always question, but I feel like just recently I learned how to sort of do my own research and discover what else was out there that felt more right than like the things that you learn growing up.
Pull through it, come on. Pull through it, come on, pull through it. Come on, pull through it. Come on, you still here. Come on, pull through it. You still here. Come on, it didn't take you out of here. Come on, pull through it. Pull through it. Get your mind together and pull through it. In the name of Jesus, pull through it. Be blessed.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, help me. Help me, God, please. Please. I'm okay. I can feel pain. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm alive.
And we just watched her pull herself through it. Okay, this next one says Halloween spiritual tip. I am easing the spooky season stuff in here. So I just went from pull through it to Halloween spiritual tips.
Halloween tip, because Halloween is coming up, but we need some spiritual protection this year. Yes, ma'am. This is for the kids, the adult, the teens, everyone, okay? If you have crystals that are protective, like tiger's eye, black obsidian, hematite, list goes on, amethyst, bring it with you. If you want to carry salt packets in your pocket, go for it. I highly recommend carrying star anise, especially if you can find the actual star all put together. But if not, at least 5 pieces of the star anise to complete the star would be good enough. Star anise is super protective, especially against psychic attacks. Now, we could take it a step deeper and also put maybe hyssop, rue, rosemary, oregano, and create a little protection pouch and put that in your pocket for the night. You can also carry some camphor on you. These are for the adults, not the children. Camphor you cannot eat, and we don't want your children mistaking that. So for the adults only, camphor in your pocket. Cascarilla, really good. Eggshell powder behind the neck, on the temples, on your ankles, underneath your feet, and across your heart. Oh, and also your wrists. I like to think of protection magic on Halloween, being that Halloween is the day of deception, quite literally. I like to be deceptive with my protection magic and practices day of. So if you can make things protective that are not conventionally protective, then you're doing it right. For example, if you are wearing black, if your costume has black for Halloween, you are putting the intentions that it's black for protection. You're protecting your aura, your energy, things like that. If your hair is in braids, I'm doing it to protect my energy, my aura. If you're wearing makeup, I'm glamoring. I'm pretending to be someone else, not me. So any energy that is directed towards me, it's towards the character, not me. Do you get what I'm saying? Brownie points if you are wearing a mask on Halloween or anything of the sort, because that is protection as well. Of course, you can carry around some Florida water with you if you want to. Put some Florida water in your hand sanitizer and bring that hand sanitizer with you. And of course, saying prayers before you leave the house, when you're out, and when you come home, to make sure that you only stumble across the humans that are celebrating Halloween and not the spirits that are pretending to be human. And I hope you enjoy your Halloween.
Okay, so this one was good. This was some protection tips for Halloween.
Okay. I kind of feel like the more I show you, the more you guys won't believe me. But it's okay. I'm used to this now. Hey, mama. That's me. This is me in 1919, I believe. I was trying to be an actor. I've always been trying to make my way into film, even 100 years ago. I kind of switched over to screenwriting, as some of you might know, just because it's a hard industry to crack. Back then they didn't really allow too many black people in silent films, so you really had to be animated to kind of let them know what you're capable of. I look back at this picture now and I hate it. Like I feel like I'm pandering to a certain demographic so that I can fulfill my dreams. Yeah, I hate it. But yeah, that's me. That's me.
So, do any of you all follow Domo Draper on TikTok? If you don't and you don't know anything about him, I'm gonna show you one more TikTok from him, and then maybe you'll get an idea of what he's about.
Okay. Now, I don't normally show off what's in my fridge because these brands got to start hitting me off before I start chirping about them. But for a supporter, I got you. First off, every item in my fridge is Israel support free. Let's just start with that. I got a lot of cheese in here. I got some Gouda in here, some mozzarella. I got some Mexican blends. Got some cheddar in there too. Pepperoni in the back because I like to make my own pizza. I got this right now, but I'm a Locatelli kind of guy. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a Locatelli kind of guy. Over here, I got some homemade pesto. You know how that go. Olives for the martini, eggs for the protein. You get it. And this here is some cranberry juice. Yeah, pickled jalapenos. Y'all buying this in the supermarket for like $9. You can really just do it yourself. It's really easy. Some dog food for Dino, because I love my pup. Only the best for Dino. Got some pico the guy in the back. Sometimes you don't like chopping it up yourself. So these over here, this is wine, right? And then this half over here is Kool-Aid. I keep them beside each other because I don't know. Ginger shots. You gotta have your ginger shots. If you ain't doing the ginger shots, you're doing yourself a disservice. Especially if you lactose intolerant. You feel me? Because helps you digest. We also got some homemade almond milk. For the lactose intolerant in all of us. Barbecue sauce because I'm black. Over here we got some beet juice. I keep them down here because these are the special ones. You gotta keep them away from these over here because you don't want to get it mixed up. Sometimes they're not labeled properly. They should be labeled. And I'm not sure why they're not labeled. I'll have to talk to somebody about that. Schmuckers. That's about it. Let me know if you need a tour of any other spot in my house. For y'all, I'll do it.
So if you don't know who Domo Draper is on TikTok, he is allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, a vampire. So all of that stuff that you saw in his fridge is A, B, whatever, O, whatever. But I like him. I like his personality.
Spiritual warfare is 100% real. I used to think it was bullshit. Nah. Heck no. The second I got right spiritually, I started to see real quick that there's stuff out there trying to drag you. It's people who trying to drain you of your energy. It's people trying to latch on to you. It's spirits trying to latch on to you. That stuff is 100% real. That's why you got to operate at a high frequency. Be in control of your energy. Remain positive. Don't let nobody get up under your skin. Don't be out here arguing with nobody, because that's how they try to get you. When you start to, argue with people, when you start letting them let them getting you riled up. Nah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You just stay in your own world, sit back, observe, listen, peep game, and live your life unapologetically. You gotta protect your energy, because when you got aura to you, when you got that light to you, people will do everything in their power to disrupt that. I'm telling you, people understand the value of peace. You know what I'm saying? People understand the value of peace. That's why people go out of their way to ruin your peace, for real. And that could be you thriving, Think about it. You see somebody sitting down at the park, kind of like how I am right now, just chilling. Somebody just walk up and just have a conversation with you. A lot of times people don't be having bad intentions, but sometimes people just see you just be at peace, and it just aggravate them. It just aggravate them. Because peace is a hard thing to obtain. So once you get right spiritually and you learn how to operate at a high frequency, and protect your peace, oh yeah, it's going to frustrate a lot of people. And the second you start to give in, and the second you open that door for people, they're going to try everything in their power to dim that light. That spiritual warfare is real. Make sure y'all protecting y'all energy, man. We spirits before anything. For real. People thinking we just this flesh, this body, this mind. Oh yeah, that's a part of it. We spirits too. For the ones that get it, they get it. For the ones that don't, hey, blessings to you.
Can't you just sit there and look at him and just see peace all over his aura? Like, he looks like he has learned to let nothing bother him at all.
My cruise to Alaska started out fun. Everyone was dancing and enjoying themselves until it happened. The waves started to get really big and they closed the pool down. The ship started to look like a ghost town and things started to feel off. At dinner, the swells kept getting bigger and bigger. It also felt like something was watching us. If you look closely in the reflection, you can see it lurking there spying on us. The ship was rocking back and forth and people were starting to panic. We finally made it to calm waters, but there was so much fog the captain could hardly see. He said we had to change course due to the weather, and where we ended up was even scarier. The fog kept rolling in and we were still being watched.
Listen, I have not been on a cruise before. I want to go, but I have a feeling that I would be the one to go on a cruise and have a cruise like that one.
October 31st in the evening, all the little girls and boys.
Okay, so while we are getting into the truth about Halloween, let's get into the truth about spirituality. First of all, on TikTok, you spiritualists are making it seem like it is a fad to be spiritual, to do spiritual work, when real spiritualists know that you should not be advising people that have not come into their craft on spells or get rich quick things, okay? Because it will backfire on them immediately. Spirituality is not a fad. Spirituality is not something to play with. These TikTok spells and TikTok spiritualists ain't it. For real, y'all. It's really, really real, okay? If you are seeing these spells and you want to have somebody love you, or you want to get money in a certain way, use a white candle and pray over it. But do not be doing these spells, y'all, because if you have not been called by God or by these spirits, the energies, to walk this spiritual life, do not play with it, because the ramifications for your doing magic and petitioning certain energies is going to be terrible. I'm gonna need for y'all to get it together, okay? Don't be doing that.
And I believe her 150%, because it is indeed a fad for people on here to read your cards and do all of these different things for you and tell you how to do these love spells, and you do it and the love spell backfires on you. I agree with her 150%.
Peace to my soul family, peace to my soul tribe. Today we're going to talk about the veil between the physical and the spiritual realm. These energetic beings that y'all about to start seeing. Come on, check it out. Now this is an interesting one that Spirit dropped on me to drop to y'all, because my spirit team needed for me to experience this before I drop it. So for those who don't know, there's a veil between the physical and spiritual realms. But to people who are at a certain vibration, a certain level of consciousness, a certain level of openness, this veil doesn't exist at all. So if we know that there's an omniverse, if we know that there's different dimensions and realities, different energetic frequencies of realms that you can vibrate to exist on, you must understand that these realms aren't side by side. These realms aren't stacked on top of each other. They're literally all coexisting right here. There's really no three-dimensional object that I can equate this perception of these dimensions to. But there is the flower of life. And there's Metatron's cube, which is inside the flower of life. You see, if you start from the outside of this cube and then move forward, the same shapes that you see on the outside, you see on the inside. This is an easy to understand way on how these dimensions coexist within each other. So this veil between the physical and spiritual realms is just a subconscious block that you have to remove consciously. One, you have to shift your perception to see past the veil. And like I said, for those who are vibrating towards a more higher refined frequency, are able to peer into these different dimensions in the third dimension. So the veil is non-existent for those who are vibrating high. Just because some of you aren't able to perceive what you're seeing yet, doesn't mean that you still don't feel it, you still don't hear it, still don't smell it. But for those who are vibrating lower, they're just oblivious to all this. So being as though we're heading into the season of fall, and we're heading into spooky season of Halloween, all of us, if y'all haven't already, will begin to start experiencing and seeing a lot of spirits, a lot of different energetic beings. You're gonna start seeing them out the corner of your eye way more. You're gonna start seeing them just stand there. You're gonna start seeing them walk up to you. You're gonna see them on top of people, attached to people. You might see them attached to certain animals. You might see them hovering and guarding over food. Y'all gonna start experiencing and seeing a lot of things. Because in this point of ether that we in right now, everything is vibrating higher. You are vibrating higher. Your ESP is turning up. Especially for those who know they really had these abilities. I know y'all been experiencing some stuff, because boy, yesterday, October 1st, I was seeing all kind of stuff. So for those of us who haven't experienced these things yet, one, y'all don't need to operate out of a state of fear. Because that will feed these thought forms that you have inside your mind based off of whatever you're experiencing. And then based off the energy you're continuously feeding these thought forms, they'll begin to pull in this information, and then they'll be able to form a consciousness. Once they form a consciousness, they will be able to permeate themselves into reality. So y'all don't need to operate out of fear. Shift that perspective. Jump dimensions to the dimension where you're curious. You're curious of the things that you're seeing. And don't tell yourself, oh, I'm tripping. I ain't just see that. No, tell yourself, I seen that. I seen that. Let them know that you see that. That'll only strengthen you, your abilities, and your connection even more. Ashe.
See, these are the kinds of videos that I like. I will never have a person's video on here who is trying to show you how to do a love spell or try to do some kind of spell against an enemy or something like that, because that's just not where I want to, that's not where I'm vibrating. I do like the types of videos where they sort of teach you and they show you tools that you can use in your practice, but not these specific spells to alter somebody else's free will or revenge and all of that type of thing. That's not where we are going on Awakened and Rooted.
The psychic told me that I wasn't supposed to exist. Yo, so this story gonna sound a little crazy, but this will happen. So last month I was at this little low-key after hours lounge out west. Like, it wasn't even supposed to be open that late, but they was still open. But the whole place just felt like off. Like, the lighting was weird, like the music was like glitchy. It kept skipping, but everybody act like they didn't hear it. And I'm just going with the flow, because at this point I'm already saucy, whatever. I'm feeling a little groovy, whatever, so like I'm good. But I'm sitting at the bar, minding my business, when this girl walked in. And bro, I'm talking like she was like perfect. Like her face, her skin, like it didn't even look real. Not like makeup perfect, but like computer generated perfect. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about. So she walks straight up to me, like not flirty, not casual, just looks at me and goes, "Found you." So I kind of laugh it off. I'm like, okay, you found me. Found me where? I found you. What's up? So she tilted her head and she smiled like real small, like, and she say, "You ever wonder how many times this happened?" And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And she don't answer. She just started like kind of tapping her nails like on the counter. Like she had like these like kind of long little French tips or whatever. She tapping them on the counter and she says, "Watch the patterns. Pay attention. You're starting to remember." I don't even know what she's talking about at this point. I don't know what, remember what, so, but before I can ask anything else, she just kind of like walk out, whatever. So I'm sitting there like, okay, that was kind of strange, but it's cool, whatever. Bro, but now it started to get a little strange. Now my mind just started racing, whatever. I'm like, okay, what is going on? So I noticed this older lady like sitting in the corner, like doing like these little readings. And it wasn't no sign, no table. She was just sitting in a chair, but she was kind of looking at me. Like, so I'm kind of walking past, whatever, and she just locked in on me. So I'm all right, let me go see what's to it. So I sit down, and she's just like, oh no, you're not supposed to exist. I'm like, okay, now at this point, I'm about to get up, because I'm like, not supposed to exist. I'm faded. There's a lot going on. Like, I'm about to get up. I'm about to walk out. And then she grabs my hand and leans in and says, "You slipped through somehow. Something made a mistake. You weren't supposed to wake up. Now, this one I'm getting freaked out. Bro, when I feel like my chest kind of like locked up when she said that. And I stuttered, I'm like, like, wake up from what? And she won't answer. She just whispered, she's not a person, and neither are you, not fully. Bro, when I say I stood up, I'm gone. I'm already walking towards the door. She probably still talking. And it just felt like the air was like bending. Like everything just started to just sound like it was like slowing down. But this the messed up part. I check my phone like as I'm leaving, whatever. I'm just looking at my phone, whatever. And it's a video that's saved in my phone that I don't remember. But it was her. They're like the girl from the bar. And she looks straight in the camera and she says, if you're watching this, you're already starting to remember. Yo, I might have to upload the video just for proof of concept. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like I'm AI. I keep saying this in my videos. I feel like I'm AI. I don't know if I'm some type of AI test that they're doing or something like that. Let me know something, chat. I'll keep going on with it. Let me know something. But I'm starting to feel like I'm AI because life is getting a little too Freaky Friday. Let me know something, chat.
So there's actually a part 2 to this, and we have it. So we are going to see what happened.
The psychic told me I wasn't supposed to exist. Part 2. So quick recap. I met a psychic. I was at this little spot, whatever, and she basically told me I wasn't supposed to exist. So a couple days after that, weird stuff just started happening, man. I was checking my phone, whatever, and I seen outgoing calls I don't remember making, incoming calls, no name, just calls like that I don't remember making or I don't remember calling me that had like durations on the calls. So then Thursday night, I'm at this little Baba's, whatever. I'm standing in line scrolling through my phone, and I look up, and that's where the girl was. Because in the last story, I saw this girl, whatever, and it was this weird interaction. But it was the same girl. She was leaned up against the wall, like she had just been waiting, whatever. She had this little hoodie on, her hair was pulled back, but it was her, like, watching me. So I freeze, and she kind of smirked, like real subtle, like a kind of like a it took you long enough type of look. So I walk over, I'm like, yo, was you at the, little spot the other night at the lounge? And she smiled. She like, you really asked me that? Like, you ain't know? And I'm like, know what? So she look at me dead in the face, like no smile, no nothing. And she just like, you ain't know that none of this was random. And then real calm, like she rehearsed it. Like, oh, let me guess. Like, you've been seeing weird numbers, random calls, people watching you that ain't watching. Thought you was tripping, huh? Yo, when I say my throat, like all of like the moisture in my throat just like left, whatever. So now I'm kind of like, stuttering over my words again. And she stepped in close. She like, you wasn't supposed to notice, but now that you did, and that's when she stopped. And she looking like over my shoulder, whatever. And then real soft, she say, don't look right now. But the dude in the gray jacket been following you since you walked in. And now it's getting real, like, I'm like, and I almost look, like, because she told me, I'm like, yo, like, and I have to, like, really stop myself. And I'm thinking, like, yo, is she real? Like, is this real? Like, she trying to set me up? Like, I don't know what's going on at this point. So before I turn around, she whispered, don't panic, just act normal, because you about 2 moves away from figuring out exactly why you met me. And then she grabbed her phone, she snapped a picture of me with the flash. So I'm like, you taking pictures? Like, you telling me not to turn around? I'm like, yo, what was that? And she kind of smiled a little bit. She like, that's insurance. Insurance? What kind of insurance? Insurance of what? And then she just walked out. So I wait a second. I turn around real slow, kind of like casual, because she telling me not to turn around. And dude in the gray jacket, he gone. Bro, I swear, ever since that moment, I keep asking myself, like, did I run into her by accident? Or, like, was I supposed to run into her? I don't know, y'all. I mean, I could keep going with the story and keep letting y'all know what happened next. But what happened next is really, like, the crazy, crazy part. So if y'all want me to keep going, let me know something, chat. Let me know something. I don't know if I'm AI. We've about to get to the bottom if I'm an AI human or not. But let me know something, chat. What y'all think?
let me put y'all on hold for a moment and see if I can find a part 3. Alright, so I checked this TikTok and there is no longer a part 3. Not no longer, there is not a part 3. So I did put a comment on his page to please keep going because I am invested. I want to know what happened because he said the next part is crazy, so please let us know. So with that being said, we have come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, if you got anything out of it, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with someone else who may enjoy it or someone else who is on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I have another video coming out. Stay awakened, stay rooted, and until next time, peace.